Danger Dolan. From ocean fireballs to mythical apes and ghosts that only show up on film, these are 20 photos so mysterious, so impossible, that it's often said they should not exist at all.
Number 20.
The Tadpole Monster, 1964, Queensland, Australia. French photographer Robert Sarek, along with his family, were vacationing off the coast inside rowboats when this large, snake-like creature appeared. It was 6 feet below water, approximately 80 feet long, with a giant wound in its back. One person managed to snag this photo before the creature swam off, never to be seen again, still a mystery to this day.
Number 19.
The Modern Time Traveler, 1941, the South Forks Bridge grand opening in Canada. This photograph supposedly contains a time traveler seen in the dark shades. His clothing, sunglasses, and especially the camera he carries are far beyond what were available or even invented back then. A good deal of theorists claim this is definitive proof that time travel is indeed possible.
Number 18.
The Naga Fireballs. These fireballs, or Mekong lights as the locals call them, is a phenomenon with an unconfirmed source said to be seen in Thailand's Mekong River, but also said to appear in Isan and Laos. Basketball-sized glowing balls shoot out of the sea and into the air, vanishing after a few hundred meters. Theorists suggest phosphine gas, but no current science can accurately explain why this photo is possible.
Number 17.
The Hampton Court Ghost, 2003, Hampton Court Palace, London. A fire alarm sounded, alerting guards that a door has been opened. The guards searched every door, but they were all sealed and bolted. However, this disturbing image was found via their CC security cameras, even though the door remained sealed minutes later. Nobody could explain how this was possible.
Number 16.
The Solway Firth Astronaut, 1964, Burgby Sands in Cumbria, England. Jim Templeton was in a marsh taking photos of his daughter. Everything fine, but when he developed said photos, this spaceman appeared in the background. According to Templeton, there was nothing behind her at the time, a clear day, and Kodak verified the photo had not been tampered with.
Number 15.
The Babushka Lady, 1963, Dallas, Texas. The assassination of John F. Kennedy. A mysterious old woman with a brown overcoat and scarf appears in a huge number of photos during the assassination. It's highly speculated she was taking photos or videos at the time, and despite the FBI publicly requesting for her to come forward, she never did. Nobody ever heard from her again.
Number 14.
The Battle of Los Angeles. 1942, 3 months after the start of World War II, on the evening of the 24th of February, an aerial barrage assaulted the sky over LA with no planes in sight. The official word was, soldiers had gotten trigger happy when a weather balloon passed over LA, but UFO conspiracists have speculated it was a cover-up for extraterrestrial spacecrafts, a common belief at the time. This is one of the only known photos of the mysterious battle.
Number 13.
The SS Watertown Ghost, 1924, an oil tanker sailing toward the Panama Canal. James Courtney and Michael Meehan were aboard at the time and accidentally killed by gas fumes. They were then buried at sea, but those still aboard the SS Watertown noticed something peculiar following the ship. 2 ghostly faces floating along the ocean, silent and staring. The ship's captain took one snapshot of this phenomenon, and you're looking at it right now. It could not be explained.
Number 12.
Freddie Jackson's Ghost, 1919, a photo of Sir Victor Goddard's squadron, men who had served in World War I aboard the HMS Daedalus. This ghostly face was said to belong to that of Freddie Jackson, an air mechanic accidentally killed 2 days prior by an aeroplane propeller. All the men in this photo confirmed it was Jackson's face, as his funeral was being held that day.
Number 11.
The Falling Body. The story is simple and fairly obvious. The Cooper family moved into their new home in Texas, a photograph was taken of their family, and when it developed, a body appears from the ceiling. There isn't much context here. It could be real, it could be fake, but there's no way to know for sure.
Number 10.
The McMinnville UFO, 1950, McMinnville, Oregon. A super famous photo, thought to be the original UFO. The reason this one was so famous? It was picked up by Life magazine and went on to get featured in hundreds of newspapers across the country. Mind you, this is only 12 years after the infamous War of the Worlds broadcast, and the fear of the unknown was fresh in pop culture. To this day, the flying saucer blob on the photo remains controversial. What could it possibly be?
Number 9.
The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, 1936. Photographers from Country Life magazine took this snapshot in Raynham Hall, Norfolk. The story went in 1835. A house guest in the hall noticed a phantom in a brown dress eyes gouged out, wandering the halls. To this day, nobody can explain what this white image in the photo could be, though skeptics argue it lacks a good deal of authenticity.
Number 8.
The Hessdalen Light. These mysterious lights over Hessdalen Valley have been reported multiple times for the last 80 years, but it was during the years 1981 and 1984 that the lights started appearing much more frequently, over 20 times a week, to the point where people would just show up to see them. Some suggest it's an unstable tear through space and time, one we cannot yet understand.
Number 7.
The skunk ape. In 2000, Florida, sightings of a large, foul-smelling ape creature have been frequent for 30 years, but it was an anonymous woman that mailed this single photo to her local sheriff's department that put a face to the name skunk ape. She wrote that on 3 separate occasions, this ape entered her backyard to steal apples. Since that time, nobody can disprove this photo, it looks authentic, and it's highly possible it belongs to the group hominid cryptids said to inhabit Florida, Carolina, and Arkansas, and it could very well be creeping around to this day.
Number 6.
The Spectre of Newby Church. 1963, a church in North Yorkshire, England. Reverend K.F. Lord took this photograph inside his church alongside several others. He thought nothing of it until the film was developed, and this hooded creature appeared. Experts say the photo is not the result of double exposure. The figure is truly there in the shot, but what it could be, nobody knows.
Number 5.
The UFO painting, the mid-1400s. While technically this is not a photo, this painting called the Madonna with Saint Giovannino by Domenico Ghirlandaio depicts something very unsettling. Above Mary's right shoulder, you can clearly see a round, spiky object in the sky. Air travel would not be invented for another 400 years, and there is no known phenomena that could account for this bizarre shape in an otherwise standard painting for the era. Did they see something we didn't? We'll never know.
Number 4.
The Phoenix Lights, 1997. 5 giant lights appear in the sky over the city. They appear one at a time. They stay for a while and then disappear. Reports from earlier that day described a colossal mile-wide dark aircraft in the sky moving from town to town. A nearby Air Force claimed the lights were simply flares attached to helium balloons because of how perfectly in line they were, but people do not buy it. There is a full documentary on this. The YouTube link is down below.
Number 3.
The Loch Ness Monster. Old Nessie is a sea monster, massive urban legend, rumored to be a still surviving dinosaur known as a plesiosaur. The most famous image, the surgeon's photograph from 1934, although this was later revealed to be a giant hoax made of a toy submarine and a plastic wood neck. However, eyewitness accounts and even live footage of Nessie are evidence enough that there is at least one creature in the loch, but we may never know if it is the fabled dinosaur.
Number 2.
Bigfoot, also known as the Sasquatch, found in the American Northwest. Just like Nessie, the legend of Bigfoot has grown with folklore, hoaxes, and faked photographs. But there is a very real possibility that Bigfoot is not a hoax. Giant apes known as the Gigantopithecus blackeye existed as recent as 100,000 years ago, and they were over triple the size of humans and walked on back legs. It's very possible a few survived somewhere out in the wilderness.
Number 1.
The Black Knight. Legend goes, a mysterious black object orbits around Earth, one that's been around for 13,000 years. The object, dubbed the Black Knight, had allegedly been beaming signals to Earth for a long time, but only recently have we acquired the technology to receive it. The legends claim it was put there to watch us, to study Earth's development, and this is one of the few photos taken of it. However, like with a lot of myths, it took on a life of its own. Unrelated stories about noises from outer space, combined with Black Knight theories, gave birth to this legend, and there hasn't been much evidence of its continued existence. But it's not impossible that somewhere out there, someone or something is studying us silently, and it may be Batman. I hope it's Batman. That is it for this 20 list. Have a good one.